Hi, welcome back to Market of the Moment. I am Don Chakowski, Director of Channel Sales for Fidelity National Title, and joined as always by Miss Sharon Terhune, our Vice President of Residential Sales here in Maricopa County as well.
And it is fall!
Y'all?
It's fall!
Does that sound natural? Tell me, guys. I've been trying the country music thing lately. I've been like all that stuff. So
Yep, Don got a hat.
yes, I was gifted a cowboy hat a little over a year ago.
You
so
were.
yes.
You have a hat. We saw Brad Paisley earlier this year.
I did see Brad Paisley earlier this year.
I mean,
yes.
you can say you've seen some country music, so we're
I'm
working on the y'all.
I'm embracing the y'all
Y'all,
world.
y'all.
So, and it's fall. So
Y'all
it is
fall.
October.
It's October.
Yes.
Man,
and so
it's
this,
crazy.
So the last couple of weeks we've been visiting. While we were in September, we were
Yeah.
visiting our September 6th prospecting blueprint event and
Yes.
talking about that event, and been doing some highlights from each one of the panels that we hosted on that day. So
Yeah.
today we are on week 4, and so it's panel 4, which is our social media panel.
Oh, so good.
So Sharon, tell me, as we had this conversation with these panelists, so Sharon and I were fortunate enough to be able to moderate and share with these great folks. What kind of takeaways did you have? What were your thoughts around the social media?
You know, well, first of all, these are really smart people
Yeah.
that we're talking
Right.
about social media, because I don't know, but the importance of video.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked a lot about video, and it's funny because this just came up in a conversation I had actually earlier about, you know, how do you do it? How do you get in front of the camera? I was talking about Market of the Moment and filming it, and I said, well, the secret is I never watch it.
Yeah.
Don't tell him I said that.
Yeah,
I never
no,
watch it because I don't want to see myself on camera. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, you see yourself a little bit different, and video is tough. And we have a video room at Fidelity National Title. Right now we're at our studio, not our photographer studio, but we also have a studio at Fidelity at our corporate office. And you know, it's really not as hard as it is. It seems okay. Yeah. And what's so great is our team is so good about holding everyone's hands while you're doing the video. But they did talk a lot about video and where to post your videos, where you should spend, what platforms to spend time on. Yeah. I was surprised to hear a lot of YouTube.
I think Shannon spent some time talking about her successes around YouTube, and I thought that brought a lot of value.
Yeah, I think Alex Pruitt did as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you got to be willing to put yourself out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, and what I liked about our panelists, and we had a lot of intent behind this panel as well, is that the 3 panelists are very different in the way that they go after social media and being successful in social media, which again tells us, you know, we've talked about this in previous weeks, that you don't have to do everything the same, right? So go find those pieces that work for you, go figure out how to bring those into your business, but it doesn't have to be the same between the exact same.
Well, these were 3 very uniquely different people as well. So we had on the panel, we had Shannon Gillette, and my interesting part of hers, when she started talking about buying a Honda Odyssey and living in it or something, and then
maybe not quite living on it, but yes,
but pretty much. You know, maybe she wasn't living in it, close to it though. You know, and then Alexander Pruitt and Mindy Jones, and so again, three unique individuals with very different direction and purposes of social media, you know, prospecting.
Yeah, and with Alex, you know, and I never even realized all this was possible. I still don't know how he's doing it, so I'm looking forward to our breakouts with him.
Yeah, I am too.
And I've been, you know, Alex and I have had several conversations since the event about, you know, we've had teams ask him to come speak, and even other panelists have asked him to come speak to their team. Yeah. And but what I like is he talked a lot about tracking data around social media, and so how he tracks to see which people give him likes and all these different things. I'm like, how amazing
and
is
how
that?
often he responds, and you know, if he's going to spend, he says you have to time block it. That was interesting too. You have to time block your time on social media because our days get ahead of us. You can also spend 2-3 hours a day on it, and that's not good either because we all have a lot of things to do. So, you know, if you spend 10-15 minutes, be purposeful with it and going and and making responses, not just liking, actually responding to people.
Yeah, and then Mindy, talking about how intentional she is about what she does, and how it always has to be about something about a give, right? And she spent some time talking about that as well, and I think that's so important because people aren't going to just want to like, oh, there's Don and Sharon again, we gotta watch this. But if they're getting value from it, then that's where they're going to be more likely to spend the time watching.
Yeah, and who talked about taking the screenshots on social and putting them onto like a send out card?
Oh, that was Alex.
Alex talked about that.
Yeah.
Cool idea. I think I got one from somebody one time, and it was a little stalker-ish, but I'm just going to call it off the top. But apparently it works. But I don't know. I kind of got the creeper factor. I'm like, oh. Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, it's me.
Yeah. Well, and I just think that that it's it's important that we look at it, but even like something like that, right? How are we purposeful about that?
Yeah.
And what does it say to the person you're sending it to, right? So,
and if somebody does a sentimental post, to put the post on the card and then write a nice note, even if it is, I'm sorry for whatever it is, So it is really being real with people.
Yeah. And there's a gentleman I know, he does send out cards a lot, and he's like, and I love it. And he's like, well, most people don't have printed pictures anymore. And
that's it right there.
And so this is a way of kind of having that printed picture there as well.
That is true. I have 4 kids, and the last ones, I'm sorry, they're all digital pictures
Right.
somewhere.
Exactly.
The first one I got bins of pictures printed in the first one.
So for the record, though, I do watch our video just because
that's good.
Got to keep an eye on Brandon, make sure that he doesn't edit something in there we weren't expecting. So
that's good.
Yeah. So
I just don't watch me. I didn't say I didn't watch them. I might just skip through.
Right. Well, what do you think? Maybe we should take a look at the panel?
Let's do it.
All right. So, Mindy, you do a lot of different content stuff, right? So can you tell us, what role does that play, the different content creation that you do? What does that play in your social media outreach?
Sure. So first, I want to say that I'm well aware that our panel is standing between you and lunch. So we're going to do everything we can to bring all of that energy to you today. The other thing that I want to say is that if you're feeling any sort of imposter syndrome, which is something that I've committed to speaking about anytime that I'm on stage, just take a breath. You're getting a ton of new ideas today. You're going to be able to take some of those home. Some will fit. The ones that don't, just leave them behind when you walk out the door. It's okay. You don't have to be everywhere and doing everything. And this is part of building your personal brand and how you're going to show up online. So to answer the question about content and how it shows up and what content might be best for you or for your clients, the answer is, who are you talking to? And that's going to be different for every one of you. Your personal brand should reflect who you are, how you want to show up, what you want people to say about you when you're not in the room. One good exercise is ask somebody what are the 3 to 5 things that they would say about you? And are those the things that you would want them to say about you? It's a good networking exercise for you when you go out there this afternoon and you're talking to people. When you say something to somebody, what would you want them to say back that they remembered that you said? This is how you build your personal brand. When you go online and you're showing yourself to people that you haven't had the chance to meet yet, the question is, who are the people that you're trying to serve? And what are the problems that they have that you have the ability to solve for them? And these aren't buyers and sellers. This isn't luxury. Those aren't people. Those are types. People are, who are the people? Where do they shop? Where do their kids go to school? What do they do for fun? What challenges do they have in their day? How do they wake up in the morning? How do they solve them? And how do you fit into that world for them? And until you've uncovered what those things are, who those people are, and where they play, your content will miss every time. When you look at community building, which Kenny mentioned quite a bit, there's lots of people who talked about how their community plays a role in their prospecting. Communities fail all the time. 80% of entrepreneurs will tell you that community building is their primary strategy and their primary social media strategy for content. The problem is that what they want out of their community as a business owner and what the community wants out of the community for themselves differs. The community wants to be a part of something, to know that they can come to you because they trust you, that you have value for them, that you relate to them, that they get you. What does the company usually want? Man, sales, money, right? So how do we not get caught selling online? That is really the answer to how does content show up for you. So I heard Chelsea Pites on a podcast earlier this week, and she said that people typically want to learn from you, with you, or about you. So when you're looking at building your content, you've identified your personal brand, you know who it is that you want to serve and how you want to serve them. I'd start with, what can people learn from you, with you, or about you? And if you start from the bottom up and you start with about you, what is it that you want them to know about you? How do they follow along with you during the day? How do they see what you're like as a person? Because that's going to be the test of authenticity for them, right? So in Exactly What to Say, we talk about content without context is just noise. And it's already very noisy out there. So how do we create the context behind the content so that they know that the person that they're getting it from is a real person? We also talk about things like, how do they learn with you? How do you bring them along the journey with you? Because people do things for their own reasons and not yours. So that once you've launched, once you're available to serve them as a real estate agent, once you've identified what are the problems that you can solve for them, how are they coming to you asking you for that? Because they've been on the journey with you. So whether it's a coaching program or building a team or launching a new product or having an event coming up, that they're coming to you before you've even launched the marketing materials in your content. You don't have to post things that say, come sign up for this anymore. Because you have people saying, when are you putting this out? When can I be a part of this? When can I come to this? So with you, for you, and from you. And then the last two things that I'll leave you with is a bit of a homework assignment, if that's okay. What are the three things you want to be known for? What are the three things that you do in your day, even without social media? Those are your posting buckets. Who are the people that you want to serve? What problems do you have that they have that you can solve? And finally, how are you going to close the loop so that the relationship doesn't end online? So you're doing more commenting than you are contenting.
Wow. There's a reason we call Mindy Market Master Mindy on Market of the Moment. If you've not seen Dawn and I's Market of the Moment every week on social media platforms, take a look at it. Mindy does a market update every week, and she's a phenomenal speaker, obviously, and teacher and instructor, and her new course is going to be amazing. Thank you, Mindy. Next question, Mr. Alex here. Thank you for joining us. So how does social media prospecting differ from traditional prospecting?
It's a great question. I think it's actually going to surprise you, and then it's not that different. And I will open with, we've heard a lot of really good stuff already. Kenny just brought some really good stuff, and things like we've heard about CRMs, we've heard about tracking, right? We've heard about all these different metrics. I just do that with social media. So to piggyback on what Mindy said, which was awesome, to me, social media prospecting is as simple as this. To me, it's being intentional and having outcome-driven language that creates curiosity, connections, and then what else? Closings, of course. So it doesn't differ that much. And when I say it doesn't differ, if I get a mailing piece from me or a person in my neighborhood gets a mailing piece, and it's just another just listed, just sold card that I've seen 1,000 times, and then they get something from Kenny that is more personable and connects to them, who are they going to call? Okay, that's what I do with social media. And I will give you some examples. I know Shannon, but I've never met her in person. I know that her unique value proposition is the power of video. I know it's really important to her that she spends time with her family, and I know that she hasn't been in the Grand Canyon in, 30 years? Is that right? Right? I don't stalk Shannon, it's just she does a big example, I'm gonna highlight her, right? So when I am saying that it's really similar, my content is designed for consumers, not real estate agents. I don't care what real estate agents think. In fact, I don't have to ever post just listed or just sold ever. And I will give you, we said R&D earlier, if you guys follow me or don't, you can R&D everything I post. You have my permission. If you like anything I've ever created, you are more than welcome to copy it. Just put your own spin on it, share your personality. So how do I dive into that deeper and be more tactical? Why? Consistency. I am very consistent. I am in your face. You can't hide from me on social media. You can't. Even if you try, I'm not leaving, ever. Number 2, I track everything. So we heard about door knocking and farming, right? I do that, and I do mailing campaigns, and I do email campaigns, but I will door knock you on social media. I will track on spreadsheets who's watching all of my stories consistently, and then I will find them, and I will like one of your pictures intentionally, and then I will react to some of your stories, because what am I doing? I just knocked on your door. And here's why I really like this. This is funny, but it's so much easier for you to respond back to me to a DM because it's a low sales resistance environment versus me calling you to check up on you or texting you, right? We all do the follow-ups. Yes, we should do that. But I'm trying to find an environment that's low sales resistance that doesn't have any of that pressure. And I think I used to be guilty because years ago I did just what everybody else does. I felt this extreme external pressure. Almost like when you go on a listing appointment and you feel like you have to impress the sellers, right? I need to show you all of my awards. I need to show you that I'm top 1%. I need to show you. No, you don't. They don't care. I don't do that because they don't care. They've seen me 1,000 times. So when I'm posting my content, and you will look at it, it's similar to Shannon's in a way that I am sharing my whole brand. And the benefits of it is I can connect with people on so many different levels. If you like golf, we will connect. If you like health and wellness, we will connect. If you like real estate investing, we will connect. This might piss off some people, but if you like the Arizona Wildcats, we will connect. Don't. Oh, sorry. Oops. Right. So to be tactical, and I know I won't draw it out too long, but my content is a mixture of some personal stuff, and then when I'm creating a content piece that I want to have you have a call to action, and there's a mix of both, I run the same formula every time. It's curiosity, value, and then a hook. Every single video, and I will hook you with things like how to buy a house off market in 2023. There's a free topic. I would go make that today. But then when you ask me, I also have an ebook done that's a lead magnet that I can send you. And then you download it, then now you're in all of my life, you're in my spider web. And when you're in my email, once you're in, you're in. And then once you're in my email campaign, guess what? I flip you back to my social channels. Like my emails also will direct you back to my YouTube, back to my Instagram. So my biggest takeaways are, it's not any different. You need to track it, measure it, and have outcome-driven language. To me, a just listed or just sold postcard or posting, there's no outcome because nobody relates to that. Think about who's your ideal client, your ideal farm, what's their problem, how do we solve it, how do we bring them from a curiosity state to taking action. So I try to keep that short and sweet. Good enough?
I'll say it. No, I appreciate it. All right, so we all need to be careful about it's a spider web, right? So, no, I love it. I should tell you, when Jill and I were brainstorming of who we wanted on the panel, first, out of the everybody we asked, we only got one no. So all of you guys are our first choice. You say no? No, I don't. But no, I just love that everybody's so, and Alex, because your take is so different on social media and the interacting and the tracking of that kind of stuff, is so different than I've heard from so many other people. That's why we need Alex on this. This is great. So appreciate you being here. So, okay. So Shannon, so can you tell us about how you optimize your social media profiles and content to attract and engage a larger potential audience?
Well, in 2014, I left a successful 8-year career in new home sales. I not only left that career, but I left a stable income. I had to sell my big house, sell my nice cars. I bought a used Honda Odyssey minivan, and I had 2 toddlers and a newborn baby in the back seat, and I was like, what am I doing? I just left this corporate lifestyle. Even my own family doesn't consider me a realtor, even though I've sold and closed hundreds of new builds. I had to start fresh. And I knew one thing. I knew that we get paid as realtors to solve problems. And one problem there was in 2014 and 2015 was homes were not selling fast. And I started to see inside the real estate community as a new home sales consultant the fact that realtors weren't marketing their listings. They were putting a sign in the yard, taking pictures, throwing the home up on MLS. And I would get really frustrated as a new home sales consultant because I couldn't sell one of my new builds until my prospects sold their home. So the problem that I wanted to solve was listing marketing. And I made a commitment to myself in my Honda Odyssey minivan that I was going to film a listing video for every home I list. I couldn't afford a videographer. There was many times I had to pay my videographer using a credit card, but I made a commitment to myself. I was going to be on every one of my videos. I was going to write a script, and I was going to share the story about the home. And I put that everywhere I could on social media. The average US adult spends 2 hours a day on social media. I'm getting my listings where the people are. And I started to see, man, I'm building a brand because I'm getting my face on camera. I then decided to do something that wasn't popular back in 2015. I started to build a personal brand, sharing my personal life on Instagram, and people thought it was weird, right? You should just be sharing homes, Shannon. Why are you sharing your kids and your toddler and your newborn baby? But I learned early on, and I'm so grateful for this, that we are not for everybody. I'm not the perfect realtor for everyone in the world. I was at first scared to lean into my personal brand. What if I offend somebody that I'm posting on my Instagram story that I'm at church on Sunday morning? Or what if my prospect thinks I'm weak because I'm at my son's football game and I'm not out showing homes? But I leaned into my personal brand. I got my face on camera every single day, and I stayed consistent. And now I haven't made a cold call in years. My clients call me and say things like, I just found your YouTube video from 2019. Will you list my $2 million home? I go to a listing presentation and the sellers answer the door and say, wow, you're much taller in person. Like, things like that. And that's how you know when you're building a personal brand, because you're building something that's known, liked, and trusted. I'm not for everybody. I probably offend some people. But you know what? The clients that do follow me and think of me and I stay top of mind, it's a much better client to have than having a cold call and beg somebody to be their agent. And it really comes down to consistency. One thing in this business is realtors give up way too fast. I like to use the analogy of working out. If you wanted to lose 50 pounds, we all know we can't eat salad for a week and lose 50 pounds. You have to be consistent with your diet and exercise. And building your real estate business is the same way. You can't give up. I don't want to post on my Instagram story every day, but every day of the year I'm posting 5 to 10 stories as a behind the scenes look into my life, and I'm staying top of mind. To everybody that follows me, they're seeing me all throughout the day, and it's almost like you're brainwashing these people, like Shannon Gillette Realtor, Shannon Gillette Realtor. And then I'm very strategic with my feed as well on Instagram. It has to be more of a resume. It's not something, you can't reinvent the wheel with this. Follow people that you admire on social and just mirror their content. People are posting really weird things in their feed that should be on their Instagram story. Like, just don't try to do your own thing. Just kind of mirror what other people are doing. And finally, I'll end with YouTube's my #1 lead source. YouTube is the most powerful thing out there. It's the second most visited website in the world. If you're not leaning all into your YouTube channel and getting your face on camera and getting content out there that's found on Google, you're really missing out. And that is all I have.
And they're sure.
Complex here. This is terrible. But the good news for you is you just answered the first speed dating question: which platform is most effective on social media? Which one are you using? And she just told you, YouTube. Do you want to elaborate on that a little
Well,
bit?
I mean, Instagram obviously is super powerful to build that brand. And when you are filming a YouTube video, whether it's a listing video or lifestyle or whatever, you have to think of it. What are people Googling? And listing video marketing is something really important to me. It helped build my business. And I used to do listing videos the wrong way. I used to start at the house and say, welcome to 123 Main Street, let's head inside. Once that home closes, that YouTube video is dead. So I now do lifestyle first video marketing. I shot 2 listing videos yesterday. One started at the Chandler Mall because my new listing's right down the street from the Chandler Mall. It didn't start at the house because that video is going to live on YouTube forever. And video is prospecting. It's just like cold calling, but my videos are prospecting for me 24 hours a day.
Love it. Okay, how about Alex and Mindy?
Yeah, so most powerful platform, I definitely would agree, YouTube and Instagram. She hit YouTube perfectly. For me, I like Instagram because of the functions and how easily it is for people to share content and communicate. I think Facebook's great, but Instagram is very easy for things to fly back and forth. It's very easy for people to communicate in a smooth way. I would say if you're going to do one, just commit to it and stay consistent. I think that also the platform or where your audience is important too. You know, if you're catering to a certain demographic or a farm, you need to pay attention to where they will be. So for me, my ideal demographic is on Instagram, so that's where I spend most of my time.
Yeah, I would echo wherever your audience is, the people that you're trying to meet, that you're showing up in that place. I have several clients who we've done a lot of events and they'll say, I'm not on social. How can I access your list of events? And so the space that I found out works really well for them is LinkedIn. So you imagine the people that you're working with are whole people. So many of them have a profession and a career and they're connecting to other people on another platform. And so how do we find people on that platform to build a relationship with? And then I think regardless of the platform that you choose, that you know how to close the sales loop or deepen the relationship by either taking them from online to offline or plugging them into something else that you have. So again, that goes back to, does the platform have a tracking mechanism for being able to direct message them or send them a link so that they can now get invited to one of your events, or you do something in person that you can bring them out to. If you're missing that piece of it, again, you're just kind of adding to the noise.
Excellent, thank you guys, thank you for answering that question. And I want to remind everybody again about QR codes, that those are all up there for you to scan, and we'll have them up again while we're in our networking lunch. So, okay, our next question is about balancing professional and personal classes, right? That's always, and I should say, as many social media classes as I attend, it's probably one of the most common questions I get. And I've heard ratios, and I've heard all these different things. So, so how do you balance those to build credibility and trust? Oh, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, so I think I have a pretty healthy balance. I don't have a specific ratio because I think it depends on your brand, and your brand is really what this is about. It's about what do you want to represent. As long as you're representing the things that are important to you, such as it could be golf, yoga, church, family, a certain community. Just have a good balance of all of those. And then if I was going to start all over, start building a platform, and I think this has to do with like personal versus business content, I would share my story in real time. I would say, hey, this is where I went to this class today and I learned this, and here's how I'm going to use it to help my clients. Like, I would share my story in real time as I'm learning and as I'm growing. I think people really resonate that. It makes you more relatable to them, and easily you can connect to them a little bit better. So I think that would be my best advice on that one.
I mean, I think you've heard the adage, right? If you're for everybody, you're for nobody. And I think that really shows up in the social media space. If you're trying to communicate with all kinds of people at all times and you don't have any detail or specificity, and I think some people get nervous that if they're too specific, they're like, but I want to help everybody, I want to help all kinds of people. If you go deep with the people that are your people, and you attract them, you will start to create the success stories from the people that related to you. And then what that does is that creates raving fans. And then what you're starting to do is you're creating a community that says this person is good at what they do. You started with they came to you because you were good at who you are. But what you turn it into is you get the at-bats to be able to say, I'm good at what I do. And so I think in order to relate to people, you've got to share some personal content. And everybody is going to have their own threshold of what they're comfortable sharing and not sharing. And I would say, as with anything in a business that you run, is listen to that instinct inside of you, right? Everything you have to succeed is already existing inside of you. And so the moment that you start to neglect that gut feeling that says, this isn't something I'm comfortable sharing, this isn't something that I want to do, that's where you get yourself in trouble. So listen to your own gut instinct, follow whatever path that is for you, and share what you feel is good to share that allows you to relate with people.
I think you have to, if you're going all in on Instagram, you have to think of it as a reality show and not a nonstop commercial. Imagine you are following a car salesman and all he did was post this new car, the car just sold, just listed, car. You wouldn't want to follow that. It's the same with your real estate page. If you're only posting your commercial, your real estate, nobody wants to follow that. If I was following a car salesman and he showed me his personal brand, maybe his kids, where he likes to travel, what he likes to do for fun, he shared interesting topics and sprinkled in the fact that he's a car salesman, he's going to be top of mind when it's time to go buy a car. And that's what we have to think of in real estate. If your page is just nonstop homes, unless it's luxury, crazy homes, you're not going to really get a lot of business from that. So you have to be willing to lean into your personal brand. What are the top 3 things most important to you, and just show the world who you are. But yet don't make it all personal brand. I try to, if you look at my feed, it's maybe 1 in 5, 1 in 8 is like a family post or personal post.
Awesome. You know, this is such a great subject. We do have one more question, but I love this because the messaging that we've been talking about all day just keeps circling back around, you know, and staying in your lane and be focused and prep and understand who you're talking to and be yourself. And we do talk about this all the time. You know, if you follow news, you're going to go sleep in your bed and never get out of bed, right? Because that the real estate market, yeah. We don't believe that. We love these markets. Fidelity, we're like, this is fantastic. Because we work with successful people, and they're going to figure out how to get the business they need. And now I'd say that to all of you. You only need what you need to survive. You don't need all the business in the market, right? And social media, fun subject, because I literally hated social media, like as of last year, I think. If you want to push yourself, do a challenge. I did it last year. I did a 75-day challenge. Not 75 hard, because I would never do that. I even said it in the video. I'm so sorry. I'm not committing to 1.5 gallons of water a day and all the crazy things you have to do for that, but I'll do 75 videos. And check it out. Go see my Facebook, because honestly, I was terrible, and I don't really care. And I did not watch my videos. Whoever said that, don't watch your videos. But I didn't care, and I posted about anything. Push yourself. Just do it if you aren't doing it, because it's awesome. One last speed dating question we have here is, can you provide tips for initiating and maintaining meaningful conversations with prospects through social media messaging, which is tough?
I think you have to know that this is a social network. You can't just post and leave. Commenting, liking, that's what I do for prospecting. I'm spending probably about 2 hours a day on Instagram, but I don't cold call, I don't door knock. So you just have to commit to actually communicating and responding with people.
Yeah, basically the same messages. To me, my Instagram is a CRM. It's like Boomtown or Sync or whatever. So if I can knock off all my tasks on Boomtown, I should be able to do that on Instagram. And then one of my favorite things, I think, that really helps me, this is an easy hack that gets great results for people, creates long-lasting relationships, is I pay attention to what people are posting. I'll make this super quick. Let's say you just got a new dog, and it's a golden doodle, whatever, and you love it. I have a golden doodle, so. And you post a picture of it, and it's super cute. I'll download that picture, I'll throw it into send out cards, and I'll send it to you, and I'll say, hey, I saw you post this picture. I thought it was really cool. There you go. Like, I go friendly little message. You can do it for kids, marriages, whatever. So I'll do that like once a week, is look for people to post stuff, screenshot it, throw it in the send out cards, send it out, costs like $10, and then that's how you get them to think, whoa, he's really paying attention to me, and nobody else is going to do that. And they save that card, they send you a picture of it. So a little hack you guys can use.
Yeah, I think with any of the prospecting methods, you have to have kind of a multifaceted approach. And with any of these, you're going to have kind of a wide net approach. Like, what is your wide net cast approach? And for social media, that's going to be the content where you share what you kind of do throughout the day, and you find who are my people. And those are the ones that are going to start to like, follow, they're going to DM, they're going to make some kind of hand raise that says I'm paying attention to you, but they may not actually reach out to you. So that's your kind of wide net. And how do you respond to that wide net people? Then there's going to be the people that are one step up. So there's with social media, and the strategies that you use in this area are not going to be quite as scalable, right? So each of these prospecting methods, the high touch, high conversion components of the strategy are not super scalable, right? That's why they work really well. And so in social media, you're going to have that wide net piece, and they're going to be moving up through the funnel based on you attracting who relates to you. And then you're going to have more at the top of the funnel, which is your real high touch, your DMs, your invite to events, your kind of high touch piece. And then you're going to have what is your actual conversion loop and metric. And so I think as long as you go into any of the strategies that you learned today with those three pieces, how am I going to tell everybody about what I do? How am I going to align with the people who say that they're for me? And then how am I going to ensure that I'm closing the loop on the relationship with them? You'll be successful in any of these strategies.
Okay, well, that just gave me chills again because, again, the social media conversation, there's so much. And what I love about it is it really taps into every panel that we've had.
Right.
Social media is such a big part of the world today, right? Truly, the world. And, it's the most inexpensive thing you can do today because everyone can have a Facebook page and a Twitter and a Instagram and all that and not have to put any money behind it to do a great job with social media prospecting. Really, if you're spending time inviting the people in that you know that are your friends and family or past clients, and that you're actually being purposeful with responding and private messaging on things that they asked for, making comments about, or things like that. It's really just getting deeper with your current relationships. And I think that was really special. So great. Wow. Good. That was great. Well, gosh, wasn't that fun going through the last 4 weeks with all these great panelists? Thank you to all these 12 folks that took the time out to help our industry get better.
And these are all folks that are working hard and very busy and all that. And I love the fact that they all took the time to commit. They gave half of one of their, more than half of one of their business days up to spend with us and to share. So amazing. So
thank you all so much. So how about we get a quick market update from Mindy and hear what's going on locally here.
The weather is starting to cool off, and so is the real estate market, as buyers and sellers seem to be hitting a roadblock with those higher than hoped interest rates. While most markets are still swaying towards sellers having the upper hand, with 33% less inventory than we had on the market this time last year, buyers' negotiation power is increasing as we start to see the active listing count move upwards. Here's where it becomes really important to talk about timing the market. Last year, buyers and sellers had a hard time wrapping their head around the health of the market with falling prices. However, those who bought have equity in their home ranging from 5 to 10% today, already covering their purchase costs and move-in expenses. Then, as we shifted into 2023, the concern became more about increasing prices and the potential loss of concessions. But even those buyers who bought have equity in their home, ranging somewhere from 3 to 5%, still covering their purchase costs. So how do you know if it's a good time to move? Well, I'd say if you can afford the monthly payment of the house that suits your needs and it solves a problem for you. That could be getting out of a rental and starting to build equity of your own. It could be that your house doesn't serve you post-COVID and trying to time the market has proven costly. It could be that a job change or a life change necessitates it. Or it could be that you're just sitting on a savings account of equity and want to move money around to change your overall monthly expenses. Paying 7 or even 8% interest on your mortgage doesn't seem so bad if you're using some of your equity to pay down those 25% interest rate credit cards. Your mortgage payment is only part of your overall monthly budget, but it is an important one. New home construction continues to provide some relief for our clients. Developers are using some of that margin that they've got built in to buy down your interest rate, which is bringing those monthly payments down pretty quickly. In fact, it's not uncommon to see 5 and 6% when you're using the builder's lender. And then when you have programs like Knock, you can purchase without selling your house and without sacrificing a ton of equity to use that solution. The key to this and any market is to work with a professional who understands all the tools that are available to you as a home buyer or seller. Because every market will have a shiny side of the penny and another side that's a little dull. This market brings options, concessions, below average turnaround times, and the only downside might be an interest rate that is more than your car, but less than your credit card.
Mindy, thank you so much. Appreciate your updates every week, and what a great job you did on the panel as well. So thank you. Appreciate you. And all right, well, I think it's time to look at how the money side of things are working out. And you know, we used to call her Free Money Amber, but a little less than free right now. But so Amber, what do we have going on out there in the mortgage world?
Do you want a new tool in your toolbox? Listen up. Guild recently acquired the 5th largest originator of HECM loans, also known as home equity conversion mortgages, which means that I can now originate, fund, and service this incredible financial tool. A HECM is essentially a line of credit for seniors with no required mortgage payment. As I've recently dug in and learned more about this tool, I was blown away by the advantages this program offers seniors. Let me walk you through just one example. You have a senior client that is moving from out of state. They sold their home and they have $550,000 in cash to buy out here. Since they're in retirement, they don't want a mortgage payment, and they believe that the only way to accommodate this goal is by paying cash. So you start to look for homes and they realize they aren't going to really find what they want within that budget. So they're either going to have to sacrifice or they're going to have to take out a small loan and have a mortgage payment. Not anymore. With our HECM loan, they could buy a house for, let's say, $750,000, put down the $450,000 from their cash. The loan program right now is somewhere around a 40% loan to value. Now they still have $100,000 from the sale of their home. Right after closing, they could pay down the $300,000 line of credit to $200,000. And that $100,000 they paid down would be earning a rate of return at the same rate as the interest being charged. Any monies which go to pay down that line of credit earn a rate that's about 2% over any money market or savings account that they could get on their own. Pretty cool, right? What I think we knew about HECMs, or called reverse mortgages, might be outdated and old school. This program allows seniors to live a better quality of life with no required mortgage payments, and it can be used for a purchase or as a refinance. So if you're interested in learning more, please register for our reverse mortgage event on October 17th. I'm so pumped. We're flying out the top originator to educate my partners on all of the intricacies and advantages of this incredible financial tool. I look forward to seeing you there, and as always, my team will be available for all of your weekend pre-qualification needs. Thanks.
Amber, thank you so much. And I love all your creativity in what you do. And truly, guys, I mean, there's so much creativity out there in the finance world that now is the time for people to buy now, while they might find a house that they want before, you know, the inventories drop more when the rates drop and all that good stuff. So, but we joke around, free money's not there right now, but it's might be semi-free around the corner of the year.
Well, and that's the thing. So you take down the property now, right? You get in the house that you want. You have less competition going against you.
Right.
So you get in that house that you want, and then when those rates do come back down, you have an opportunity to refinance back out.
Absolutely, 100%.
So.
Well, welcome to fall, and we look forward to spending the holidays coming up here with you guys. All right. Make it a great day. Ciao.